KIB-beh bil Saniyeh, a dish older than the borders that divide the lands it is loved in. From the hills of Lebanon, Lebanese kitchens hushed and warm, where bulgur and lamb have been pounded into one smooth paste, long before anyone thought to write the recipe down. They call Kibbeh the heart of the Levantine table. Bilad Asham, the lands of the Levant, each claim it as their own, from Beirut to Aleppo to the small villages between. They say a cook can be known by her kibbeh alone. The hurried kitchens grind and they rush and they forget. But the old way asks only for patience, and the patience is the whole point. This is Kibbeh bil Saniyeh, kibbeh in the tray. It serves 4. 25 minutes to prepare, 35 minutes in the oven. 1 hour from start to table. You will need ground lamb, rich and cold. Bulgur, the cracked wheat, soaked soft. 2 onions, Lebanese 7-spice, a little salt, good olive oil, and a handful of pine nuts kept for the heart of it. First, the grain. Bulgur is rinsed, then left to drink cool water until each grain softens and swells. The old kitchens soaked it while the lamb was trimmed. When it is tender, you press the water out gently with the flat of your hand and set it aside. This is the bones of the dish. Everything else is built upon it. Now the paste. Half of the lamb, the softened bulgur, 1 onion chopped fine, the salt, and a single teaspoon of the 7-spice all go together. The grandmothers worked this by hand in a great stone mortar, pounding until meat and grain forgot they were ever apart. Today, a food processor does the pounding, but the goal has not changed. Smooth, silken, one single dough. While the shell rests, the filling. The second onion softens slowly in olive oil until it turns gold and sweet. Then the rest of the lamb joins it, with more of the 7-spice and the pine nuts scattered all through. You cook it until the meat is deeply browned and the whole kitchen smells of allspice and cinnamon and warm fat. Now you begin to build. Half of the smooth lamb dough is pressed into the bottom of the tray, the Saniyeh, firmly, evenly into every corner. Hands kept wet so nothing sticks. This is the floor of the dish, the patient layer that will carry everything above it. Over that floor, the golden filling is spread, edge to edge. Then, the last of the dough is patted on top, smoothed with hands dipped in ice-cold water until the surface is flawless. And here comes the signature, the knife, drawn across in long lines, then crossed again, scoring the diamond pattern that every Kibbeh bil Saniyeh wears like a crown. A last drizzle of olive oil over the top, into every scored line, then into the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for 35 minutes. It bakes until the edges pull crisp and dark, until the diamonds turn a deep gold, until the whole tray hums with the sound of fat gently crackling. You wait. The smell will tell you when. Kibbeh is ancient. Its name comes from an Arabic word for forming, for shaping into a ball. And forms of it reach back thousands of years to the grain fields of Mesopotamia, where wheat was first tamed by human hands. Bulgur, cracked, parboiled wheat, was among the oldest ways to keep a harvest safe through winter. Kibbeh is what happens when that ancient grain meets the herds. In the old villages, making kibbeh was a sound before it was ever a meal. The steady thud of the wooden pestle against the stone mortar carried out through the lanes. A quiet announcement that something special was coming. The village women would say the dough is finished only when it no longer remembers being meat, when it has become something new, entirely its own. Bil Saniyeh means in the tray, and the tray is the whole point. Where kibbeh might be fried in small torpedoes or served raw and trembling fresh, the baked tray is the dish of gathering. One pan, cut into diamonds, set down in the center of the table for many hands to reach at once. It is food made to be shared, never to be hoarded. Across the Levant, kibbeh is the dish that simply says, home. It travels in the memory of everyone who has ever left these lands, a taste that survives oceans and decades and the learning of new languages. The folk wisdom holds that you can know an entire family by a single tray of their kibbeh. The spice, the patience, the hand that scored the diamonds. And so the tray comes from the oven, crackling, golden, scored deep with its diamonds. The smell of 7 spice filling the room. You let it rest. Then the knife follows the lines you drew, and the first warm piece lifts free, crisp at its edge, tender within. KIB-beh bil Saniyeh has fed these lands through every kind of century, because it was never trying to be grand. It was only ever about taking the time for the people you love. And the table, at last, is set.